higher ed administrator Dominique McClendon raves about the fresh pasta and shared plates at her favorite spot. For excellent service and standout Caesar salad, she heads to Crybaby Pasta.
Crybaby Pasta is a fun, laid-back restaurant with great food and drink. We make all fresh pasta here, awesome wine list, great cocktails, friendly staff, and reasonably priced. We have outdoor space when it's seasonal, so people can bring, strollers and dogs. It can be a spot for a girls' night. It can be a birthday. We have a kids menu here. So just a real mix of guests.
So I originally got into cooking because my mom was the matriarch of the family, and so we hosted all the big family gatherings, and I loved bringing people together in that way. And I think I was drawn into Crybaby because it's more approachable to the people, and it's bringing regular people together just for dinner, and it's just a really lively environment, and it reminds me of that feeling that I fell in love with when I was a kid.
Dominique, Crybaby is a chill neighborhood spot. Why did you pick it?
You sometimes get recommendations about places to go, and it just doesn't really live up to the recommendation. This very much lived up to the hype. The pasta was fantastic. It felt like such a cozy, intimate, low-key place. It was perfect.
And this time you started off your meal with the bruschetta. And they have a few bruschettas to choose from, but you did the, what was it, the mozzarella?
Yes, they do. It was the buffalo mozzarella, and I was really surprised that there wasn't, like a typical tomato bruschetta on the menu with, some olive oil and basil. This was just the buffalo mozzarella on an excellent piece of bread. It had, fresh sweet peas on there, and it was really seasonal. It just gave the vibe of everything being fresh.
Sakina, how did you start your meal?
Oh, we started with the crispy potato appetizer, and they also had an artichoke appetizer. They were delicious. I actually didn't try the artichokes because I was just featuring the crispy potatoes so much. They had like a nice pesto sauce on them, just really green, bright. It was delicious.
I feel like when you go to a pasta place, you got to get meatballs. Mm-hmm. How were they?
So the meatballs actually came as an appetizer dish. So there were 4 meatballs on a plate infused with ricotta cheese, with just a great bit of sauce on top. So you were able to take one, if you're with a group of people, take a meatball each, and you open it up, and when you open up into the meatball, the ricotta kind of melts out of it. Wow. So it was,
it was like a ricotta surprise.
Yeah, it was a ricotta surprise, and you almost didn't want to eat it as quickly as you would eat a normal meatball. The part that really stood out to me was the Caesar salad. I consider myself an advocate of Caesar salads. Whenever I go somewhere to eat, if there's a Caesar salad on the menu, I'm going to try it. And Crybaby Pasta didn't it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Leafy greens, the Caesar dressing was creamy, but what really made it the best was the croutons. The croutons were seasoned and just a bit burnt as well. So it added a little flavor to it.
Yeah,
and it was absolutely delicious when put all together.
And with a place called Crybaby Pasta, the pasta is going to be really good. And they have an interesting take on the tagliatelle with the bolognese. There's a little secret, not so secret ingredient in the bolognese.
Yes. Pepperoni.
Yes.
Pepperoni. It was chopped up so fine that if it hadn't been told, you might not have known it was even in there. Yep. And it was baked into it, and the flavor of the pepperoni went into the red sauce. It was just delicious. Absolutely delicious.
And what did you think of the tagliatelle?
Well, I didn't actually eat the tagliatelle, but the person I was with, they just wanted to eat very slowly. They didn't want it to end, and they felt like they were going to be really sad, like once they finished their tagliatelle. So, yeah.
But what was your entree then?
They had a special. It was a shrimp special, and it was just basically a shrimp over a spaghetti, a fresh pasta with basil and tomato, and very light, very refreshing. The spaghetti was so bouncy and light and airy. It was delicious.
Dominique, how are your entrees?
So my friend got the tagliatelle. I tried it. I love a good red sauce. It was good, but I was there for one thing and one thing only, which was the crab linguine pasta with the long hots and the breadcrumbs. Honestly, don't be scared off by the long hots. It is not spicy. It's just sort of this this sort of very, very low level heat just humming in the background of it, and it is delicious. I also got the Caesar salad. I was, very shocked at how lemony and herbaceous and the presence of the anchovy fillets the first time, and I was like, you know what, this is delicious. They put love and care into this. I got to get it again.
And how about the drinks? Because it's also a wine bar, but they have really great cocktails too. Sakina, how about you? What did you get for a drink?
I tried a drink called Jiggery Pokery, and it's basically their spin on a dirty martini. There's just no actual olive in the drink. I think it's like fat wash with like an olive oil. It was very delicious, very light.
And how about desserts, Dominique? You left room for dessert?
I got the homemade gelato, and it really delivered. It tasted fresh. It tasted homemade. It didn't have those weird little ice crystals in there. It wasn't a crazy, neon green color. It was the pistachio. Yeah, it was a delicious way to end the meal, and it was a really good shareable size. So, that's something to know going in.
And how about your desserts?
Oh, I had the caramel budino, which is basically layers of, it's like a layer of pudding and then caramel and then pudding with some coarse salt at the top.
Ooh.
Coarse salt adds a lot. I mean,
little coarse salt at the top. It really
adds a
turned
little
it up.
bit of crunch, but also makes the other ingredients pop with that saltiness.
Exactly, because the caramel was a little buttery. It was very buttery, and then there was the vanilla of the pudding. But yeah, the salt at the top definitely made it pop for sure.
Dominique, you have a very particular description for the vibe. You called it third date night. Look, what makes it
third date vibes? I do have strong opinions about the environment of this place. You are actually always shrouded in darkness a little bit. It's very dark in there. I feel like it lends itself to the third date vibes.
Sakina, do you feel as though the lighting kind of brought an intimacy to your table?
I didn't realize that it was dark at first, but now that you say that, maybe it was a little dark in there.
Very dark.
Because what I did notice is that it was pretty tight and it was small and it was definitely packed. I was on that Saturday.
Oh, you were there Saturday?
I left right as the rain started.
Oh, okay. We came
So
in
I had
a
an earlier
few minutes before it started.
But what I did notice was that, like, my table, we didn't notice anyone else in the restaurant. Like, it was an intimate setting. We were able to focus on each other and catch up. I didn't notice anyone else was there.
Dominique, this is your pick. Sum it up for us.
It is a delicious fresh pasta restaurant that serves up third date vibes and authentic homemade dishes that are absolutely worth the splurge.
And Jim, what's your big takeaway?
Caesar salad. 100% the Caesar salad. I often go to places that don't make good Caesar salads, but Crybaby Pasta really knocked it out of the park with it.
And Sakina, what are your final thoughts?
It wasn't a huge menu, but I think anything that you pick off of the menu will be phenomenal.
Try out Crybaby Pasta, located at 627 South 3rd Street in Philadelphia, 267-534-3076. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $35.